So it's time to start thinking about where you're going to lay your paving from. Now, the number one rule for installing a patio is always square everything from your house. Now we're going to talk to you about how to set out your lines to ensure that that happens and everything does run square off your house. Now, these beautiful tiles are a 900 by 900 millimetre. They're a big tile, so it's time to get your thinking caps on, get your tape measure out and start setting out some lines. Right, so what I'd normally do is I'd pull a line off the side of the house and bring it right through into the garden. But we can't do that because we've got an obstruction in the way. So I'm going to talk you through and show you how to do it. First things first, I need to set off my start pin, which is in this corner here. Now, bearing in mind that this juts out, I need to set my pin to the back of the drain pipe so I've got a good starting point for my line that comes through. Tying your line up to your pin. Now our start pin's over there and this is where our second pin is, but we've got a couple of obstructions in the way. I'm pulling a big chunky line through, that's going to be difficult. So easiest way is just to get your open line, pull it through the back of your drain pipes, tie her in a loop and bob her on there. So it's time to break out your tape measure and find your 3 metres. All I'm doing is pulling my tape to the back of the pin line, like so. I'm running it to my 3 metre point, setting my second pin. Now, it's very important that you get this line tight as you can up to that building because we want it to square off the building, so that line needs to be as tight up as possible. So I'm back at my start pin and I need to find my 4 metre measurement. So I got my other pin, but before I drive that in, I don't know where my 5 metre measurement is. So I'm going to lay this one across, like so, at 4 metres. Okay, so from this pin, I need to go back to my second pin and I need to pull my tape measure through to find my 5 metre measurement, and that will give me my perfect triangle. Right, so on every single tape measure that you buy, you've got this metal clamp that moves and it comes out a millimetre, which gives you a nice little opening. Now when you're working on your own, fastening your tape measure to a line, all you need to do is slot your line into that nice little millimetre gap and it's going to hold your tape in place while you move away. So pulling my tape measure from my second pin, I can now find my 5 metre measurement. We've got our start pin there, this is 4 metres. From our second pin, we've got 5 metres. I'm just going to bring my tape measure in, put my lovely tile job pencil down, and that's going to give me my 5 metres, which will then give me my perfect triangle. Voila! Now we've got our perfect triangle, we can take a measurement off either end of the line to see if it does run square to the garage. So my first measurement measures at 1195 and my second measurement measures at 114. So like everything, nothing's ever simple and the garage isn't square. So what we're going to have to do is create a square line with our tiles, cutting every one individually so that we can then set off laying on a nice even square line. So now we know that our garage isn't square, we want to check to see if this wall is square. A quick easy way to do that is lay your tile down. Now we know this tile's machine perfect square, so you don't need to measure it or anything like that. We're going to lay it down, square off that and just check it against our square line that we've set. 195, 195. So now we know that that wall is square to the house. But just a quick check to make sure that the garage is at a square is measuring your tile to your garage, and it shows that it's running 15mm out of square over that 900mm space. So we're going to start with the difficult stuff first and get all our cutting done before we start laying. The way that we're going to do that is we're going to take our longest measurement, which is 900 plus 5mm, which is the space that we're using, and we're going to make a mark on this wall here. And then we're going to set a pin and run a line square up to our square line up the garage, which I can then use to take each measurement for the tile for the cutting. I'm going to take this line that you've got here and square it off our square line, and the way I'm going to do that is take the measurement off the bottom and make it the same measurement off the top. Pull it tight to a pin at this end. So to make my job a little bit easier, because I'm working on my own, I'm going to use my 1.8 metre level to set it square up to my square line, which will give me a good visual point to run my line through. So as you can see, the line is now square to that level, the level is square to that line. I can set my pin in here, that means that that line is square to the building. I can now take my measurements and mask cut all my tiles before I do any mixing.